For a long time, Earth had been silent. The Galactic Council noticed it. So did the empires and dominions spread across the stars. Earth did not speak. It did not trade. It did not fight. It just watched to many alien races. Earth looked weak. Old reports showed humans once fought great wars, built powerful machines, and reached out into the galaxy. But now, nothing. No warships. No activity. Just a blue planet, quietly spinning around a yellow sun. Some believed Earth had destroyed itself. Others thought the humans had given up and turned peaceful. But one empire the Graal Dominion saw. Something else. They saw opportunity. High. Commander Trevok of the Graal Dominion stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at a glowing star map. Earth, marked in pale blue, blinked softly at the edge of the screen. "This is the last soft world," Trevok said. "No defenses. No allies. We take it, and the sector is ours." His officers nodded. They didn't question him. The Graal had conquered dozens of systems already. Earth would just be another prize. Far away, hidden inside Pluto's ice crust, a small listening station powered up. It was human-built, but no one lived inside. Machines ran everything. When the Graal's signal passed through space, the station heard it. It recorded the invasion plan, translated it, and sent a quiet pulse back to Earth. No alarm sounded. No panic. On Earth, cities moved as usual. Children went to school. People worked, laughed, and slept peacefully. Above them, satellites blinked softly in orbit. Beneath them, deeper than anyone knew, something ancient began to stir. Juno was a Graal scout pilot. Young and overconfident, she flew her light cruiser into Earth's orbit. Her job was simple: watch, record, and report. She activated the scanner and began mapping the surface. Lots of water. Cities are small. No major power signatures, she said to her ship's AI. The AI replied in a cold voice. No weapons detected. Atmosphere safe. No space defenses. Juno smiled. They really are defenseless. She zoomed in on a human farming village. A boy rode a bicycle through a narrow street. An old man sat in the sun reading a book. The people didn't even look. Up at her ship. "No fear," Juno said. "They don't even know we're here." But she was wrong. Far above her, hidden in the gas clouds of Jupiter, something moved, very slowly. So slow that no sensor would notice. It looked like a moon, but smoother, silent, massive, and under its dark surface, lights began to blink one by one. On Earth, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, an old man stood inside a massive control room. His name was Commander Hall. He had not spoken to the world in years. He didn't need to. His job was not to lead humans. His job was to protect them. A machine voice spoke to him now. "Pluto Station has received hostile intent. Graal Dominion has begun Operation Shadowclaw." Halle didn't flinch. He simply nodded. "Begin wake-up sequence," he said calmly. Beneath the ocean, something groaned. The sea floor trembled, but the people on the surface didn't notice. The sky was clear. The waves were soft. Juno's ship picked up a small vibration on her rear sensor. She frowned. What was that? The AI responded, "Unknown. Could be tectonic activity." "On a calm day like this?" she asked, adjusting the scanner. Then it stopped. Not everything went still again. She shrugged. "Probably nothing." With her report complete, she turned her ship away and started to leave Earth's orbit. Behind her, under the waves of the Pacific, a giant circular door slowly opened, its metal covered in barnacles and deep-sea coral. A low rumble echoed through the deep. The ship inside was still asleep, but not for long. At the Galactic Council, many races laughed when news of the Graal invasion of Earth reached them. Some called it unnecessary. Others said it was about time Earth joined the rest of the galaxy by force. Only one ambassador remained quiet. He was from a tiny race called the Minari. No one listened to them. But the old ambassador remembered. Ancient warnings. He whispered, "You do not wake the sleeping storm." No one heard him, but soon. Everyone would. The message was clear. Earth was being targeted far beyond the edge of the solar system. A black satellite smaller than a house woke up from deep sleep. It had floated alone near the Kuiper Belt for over 70 years. The moment it received the signal from Pluto's hidden station, it blinked once, turned toward Earth, and fired a silent beam of light toward the planet. The light wasn't visible. No one saw it. But on Earth, things began to change. Commander Hawley stood quietly in the oceanic command chamber. The glowing lights on his panel now flashed yellow. That meant movement in deep systems layers that hadn't been touched in decades. "Report," he said. A calm female voice answered. "Core 1 charging. Subsystem wake-up has begun. Titan-class warforms preparing for rise. Estimated time?" Hale asked. 72 hours, the voice replied. Hale didn't smile. He simply said, "Let them come." Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Like wildfire. One trader on a dusty moon swore he saw something massive move behind Jupiter's clouds. A pirate ship near Neptune vanished without a trace its last message. "We found something." The Graal Dominion ignored the stories. They believed in brute strength, not whispers. Inside the Graal capital ship, High Commander Trevak sat in a dark chamber with his advisors. On the center table, a hologram of Earth rotated slowly. "They don't even defend their orbit," one officer laughed. Trevak waved his claws. "This is no longer a scout mission. Prepare the invasion fleet. We take Earth, crush resistance, and set an example." An aide stepped forward. "Commander, some of the smaller empires. They're concerned. They're saying Earth might not be as weak as we think." Trevak leaned forward, his eyes glowing with anger. "Concern? Over what? Dirt and water? They have no fleet, no weapons. Just silence." He slammed the table. "Prepare the drop pods. I want troops on their capital cities in 3 days." In the dark clouds of Saturn, hidden inside the violent storm belts, another structure began to hum. It was black, smooth, and bigger than most moons. No alien sensor had ever detected it, because Earth had designed it to be invisible. This structure was not just a warship, it was a planet-sized guardian. Inside, machines began to wake. Energy flowed through ancient reactors. Deep AI cores scanned the galaxy, updated threat levels, and began calculations. One of the AI voices spoke aloud. "Primary threat, Graal Dominion. Target count, 3,140 ships. Fleet type, invasion class. Estimated arrival time, 72 hours. Another voice responded. Counter-response calculated. Authorization needed. Then, far away, in a simple control room under Earth's surface, Commander Hala whispered, "Authorized." Back in orbit, Juno, the Graal scout pilot, stopped. Her ship near the edge of the system. She had finished her mission, but something didn't feel right. She checked her logs again. There was movement, she muttered. Something near Jupiter. No, under it. Maybe ... inside the gas? She opened her radar history. There it was again. A strange pulse, only for a moment. Then gone. Computer, analyze that pulse. The computer replied, "Gravity field distortion. Unexplained. Possibly natural." But Juno had flown in space long enough to know one thing: gravity didn't just distort for no reason. Something huge was waking up. On a barren mining colony orbiting Alpha Centauri, a merchant ship arrived with old video logs collected near Earth's region. Miners gathered around as the merchant played a short, blurry clip. It showed something massive, like a mountain rising from the ocean. The screen flickered, but the sound was clear. Deep rumble. Ocean split. A faint hum like a song of metal, and storms dot the room when silent. Is that real? One miner asked. The merchant nodded. We picked this up from an old probe that got too close to Earth. It stopped transmitting right after this. Someone whispered. Then Earth's not sleeping. They're preparing. Back in the council chambers, the Minari ambassador stood again. This time, he spoke louder. We must warn the Graal, he said. Earth's silence is not weakness, it is warning. The others laughed. One of them, a large reptilian noble, scoffed. Are you afraid of humans, little one? The Minari stared at them and replied, I am not afraid of humans. I am afraid of what they've built ... in the dark. Meanwhile, under the Atlantic Ocean, the largest warship Earth had ever created, unlocked its restraints. A machine voice echoed inside its metallic heart. Unit Eclipse Core online. Awaiting command. Prepare for surfacing. The water shook. The seabed split. But above, humans on the beach only noticed the waves getting bigger. No one screamed. No one ran, because Earth had waited long enough. Asterisk. The Graal Dominion did not wait. Their ships arrived like a storm, sharp, black, and thousands in number. They entered Earth's orbit without warning, without conversation. They didn't expect resistance. To them, Earth was just a soft blue world. And yet, it was quiet. Too quiet. High. Commander Travak stood proudly on his command deck, watching Earth below. No shields, no fighters, no defense grid, he said. They're still sleeping. One of his officers added, Our troops are ready. Drop. Pods will land across all continents in 20 minutes. Travak smiled. Let them see who rules now. On Earth, the skies above major cities darkened as the alien ships blocked the sun. People looked up calm, not afraid. In New York, children watched from rooftops. In Tokyo, a woman quietly poured tea. In Nairobi, a farmer placed his tools down and looked at the horizon. They all knew. Something was about to rise. Deep beneath. The Pacific Ocean. Alarms blinked in blue light. A voice echoed inside a massive dark chamber, shaking the metal walls. Activation sequence. Complete. Release locks. Steel groaned. Pressure shifted. Then, slowly, the water began to move, spiraling, pulling back like it feared what was coming. From the deep trench, a shadow emerged. It was not a ship. It was not a building. It was a planet-sized warform hidden for generations. Beneath the waves, its surface was covered in armor thicker than any mountain. Its eyes, two glowing orbs near its top structure, lit up the sea like twin suns. As it rose, the ocean split. Giant whirlpools formed. The sky cracked with thunder. Birds scattered. Clouds moved. And still, Earth said nothing. The machine called Oblivion 1 hovered above the waves. Fully awake. Inside the Graal capital ship, an alert buzzed. Commander, a technician shouted. We're detecting massive energy levels from Earth's oceans, Travak growled. Energy? What kind of weapons do they even have? The technician's face turned pale. This ... This isn't just a weapon, sir. It's the size of a moon. The screen lit up with a live feed showing Oblivion 1 rising from the water, glowing like a star, its frame blocking entire cityscapes from view. Travak stepped back. What ... is that? No one answered. Aboard the human command station, buried under Greenland's ice, Commander Hale opened a link. The Warforms AI spoke first. Titan unit online, system stable. Threats identified. Hale's voice was calm. Do not fire unless fired upon. Just rise. Let them see. Understood. The AI replied. projecting fear protocol. Across the world, the alien drop pods launched. Thousands fell from orbit like raining fire. But as they approached the surface, Earth's warship Oblivion, one turned slightly, and a soft pulse vibrated across the atmosphere. It wasn't a beam. It wasn't a missile. It was a pressure wave, pure sound. The shock hit the pods like a hammer. Hundreds shattered midair. Others spun out of control and crashed into mountains, oceans, deserts. Only a few reached the ground. Those that did were met by silence. Followed by tremors. In South America, the earth cracked and a second titan rose. Horizon breaker, a Jersey Jaw. Warship shaped like a moving mountain walked out of the Andes, every step shaking the world. In orbit, panic spread through the Graal fleet. Our drop pods are being destroyed, screamed an officer. Trevak shouted, "Fire! Destroy those things now." But the weapons they fired, lasers, plasma bursts. Kinetic rods hit nothing but shield walls so thick they didn't even ripple. And then the worst thing happened. Earth began to move. Oblivion 1 turned to face the fleet. It did not shoot. It simply opened. Dozens of hatches unfolded, revealing weapon systems, hangars, and energy cores glowing red-hot. A low hum-filled space. One Graal captain whispered, "That's not a warship. It's a fortress." Another added, "No, ... It's a world." Commander Hale watched it all from his frozen station. He did not give orders. Earth's Titans didn't need instructions. They had waited for this moment for centuries, and they knew what to do. Back on the Graal command ship, Trevak trembled for the first time in his life. "We underestimated them," he muttered. "No." "Sir," said his second-in-command, pale and shaking, "we didn't even understand them." A final warning echoed across all Graal communications from an unknown source. A single human voice, deep and calm. "You were warned not to wake us." Then the signal cut, and the true war had only just begun. The Graal fleet, once proud and fearless, now floated in silence above Earth. What had started as an invasion was becoming something else, something terrifying. All eyes were on Oblivion. One, the giant warship that had risen from Earth's oceans like a metal god. It didn't speak. It didn't fire. It waited. And the waiting made it worse. High. Commander Trevak gritted his teeth aboard his flagship. Fury of claws. "Why won't it attack?" he growled. "It just stands there." One of his officers shook her head. "Maybe it doesn't need to, sir." On Earth, Commander Hall watched the enemy from his icy bunker. "Oblivion 1, he said, speaking to the Titan ship. I responded with a deep, calm voice. "Standing by. Let them fire first. Let them be the ones who pull the trigger." "Understood." Minutes passed. And an alien ship panicked. It launched a barrage, dozens of missiles and plasma. Beams screamed toward Oblivion 1. The moment they hit, the sky turned white. But when the light faded, the warship remained untouched. Its shields didn't even flicker. Then Oblivion 1 moved. Its surface shifted, and panels opened like petals. From within, a weapon emerged, slow, elegant, humming, with power. A single pulse fired. It didn't look like an explosion. It looked like time froze. The Graal ship that had fired first vanished. No debris, no smoke. Just gone. Erased. The other enemy ships screamed in all directions, their formations breaking apart. "Retreat!" Someone shouted, but they were too close. Oblivion 1 fired again. This time, it wasn't a weapon. It was a gravity surge. The space around it warped, folding like paper. 5 Graal destroyers, twisted in mid-space, ripped apart by the force of their own engines. The battlefield turned quiet again. And then, Earth's second Titan arrived. From Mars, another warship detached from its hiding place. beneath the red sands. This one was sleeker, shaped like a giant blade, its hull as black as night. Its name was Silent Dagger. It did not announce itself, that it simply appeared in orbit next to Oblivion 1 without firing its engines. It had folded through space using a tech no empire had ever seen. A message appeared on every Graal screen. You came to our home. Now you'll never leave. Panic consumed the Graal fleet. The flagship Fury of Claws tried to escape. Trevak shouted, "Warp, now!" "Get us out of here." His pilot activated the drive. The stars stretched. The ship shot forward, vanishing in a flash. For a moment, they thought they had escaped, but when they exited warp space, Silent Dagger was already there. It hovered ahead of them, unmoving. Trevak collapsed into his seat. How? Then a third Titan appeared, Neptune's Wrath rising, from the far edge of the solar system. The Graal flagship was surrounded, 3 planet-sized warships. One small Graal ship. No hope. Back in the main battle zone. Earth ships didn't chase. Didn't need to. The message had been sent. The galaxy's watchers saw it all through hacked satellites, long-range probes, and secret feeds. In every star system. Silence fell. The species that once ignored Earth now trembled. The leaders who once called humans weak now erased those words from memory. No one dared speak for a while, until one broadcast appeared. A short clip from the War of Oblivion, one hovering over the ocean, unmoving, with the clouds spinning above it like a hurricane. The title was simple: The First to Fall. In a quiet council chamber on the other side of the galaxy, an old alien sighed and turned off the screen. He looked at the others and said, "Earth was never sleeping. They were watching." Another added, "No, worse. They were building." A third whispered, "We should pray they don't decide to rise again." The galaxy was no longer silent. After the fall of the Graal fleet, empires, coalitions, and even pirate kingdoms scrambled to understand what they had seen. Reports flooded, and some whispered of a weapon the size of a city. Others claimed this warship had no crew at all, only a thinking machine guiding its wrath. But the truth was worse. Earth had not built a ship, had built a fleet of Titans. And they were waking up. Deep under the surface of Neptune. Ice cracked like shattered glass. A dome, larger than any known moon base, began to rise through boiling water and liquid methane. Hidden for 500 years, the warship known as Stormcore lifted off silently. It did not announce its presence. It simply entered orbit, its hull glowing with quiet blue pulses. Then another one woke up, Iron Echo, stationed beneath the dust storms of Mars. It had slept in silence, shielded by fake readings and decoy satellites. Now it unfolded like a blooming flower, revealing 10 energy rings spinning around a central control core. Inside Earth's command bunker, Commander Halas stared at the screen. "Status?" he asked. 5 Titans online," the AI answered. 2 more in final activation. "Any damage?" "Negative. Graal forces neutralized with 0% civilian loss." Holly nodded. "Good. Let them fear our silence." In the Galactic Center, panic had spread like wildfire. Meetings were held. Armies repositioned. Alliances formed overnight. But none of it mattered. Everyone had seen the footage. Ships the size of moons. Shields that ignored all known weapons. Beams that erased matter. Drives that moved faster than light with no warning. And worst of all, no one knew how many there really were. One report claimed Earth had 15 of them. Another said 30. No one could prove anything, because Earth said nothing. In the shadows of a dark nebula, a cloaked ship from the Zarth Republic watched quietly. Its mission: observe and survive. The ship's crew had tapped into a hidden Earth signal. What they heard chilled them. The Titans weren't weapons of war. They were never designed to attack. They were designed to protect Dot, to respond only when Earth was under true threat. And now that the Grawl had attacked, they had all been given one message: protect the human legacy at all cost. On one of Jupiter's moons, a technician walked through a long-forgotten station, its walls covered in frost. He wore a patch on his uniform, Terran Restoration Unit. He wasn't military. He wasn't political. He was an engineer. And yet, as he walked into the control room, he looked at a glowing panel and placed his hand on it. The screen lit up with a single message: Fleet Command Override confirmed. You may speak, engineer? He leaned forward and said, begin final activation. Far below, the ice began to rumble. The last Titan, buried under Ganymede for centuries, began to rise. Back on Earth, civilians were calm. They didn't panic, they didn't scream, because they knew. Their ancestors had built these machines not out of pride, but out of fear. A fear that one day, the galaxy would come for Earth, and not everyone would be kind. So humanity had prepared quietly, patiently, now. It was clear to the stars. The humans had not disappeared. They had gone dark and waited in a distant part of the galaxy. A small child stared at the sky from a dusty world. Her father worked on old mining rigs. They had no ships, no army. But when the stars shifted and one of the Titan ships passed silently overhead, even she could feel it. Daddy, she whispered, why are they so big? Her father knelt beside her, because sometimes little ones build giants when they know the monsters are real. She looked at him. Are they monsters? He smiled weakly. No, sweet one, they're shields. Just very, very big ones. Back aboard Oblivion 1, still hovering above the Pacific, its deep AI received a message from the other Titans. Fleet ready, the signal read. Standing by? Oblivion 1 replied with just 2 words. Hold position. No attack orders were given. No fleet movement initiated. Just stillness. But every warlord, general, and emperor watching across the galaxy understood something very clear. The fleet had awakened, and it was waiting for someone to make the next mistake. Asterisk. The stars were no longer filled with voices. Once, the galaxy buzzed with messages, reporting movement, leaders shouting orders, traders arguing over routes. But now there was silence, a deep, cold silence, because the Titans were awake. And no one wanted to speak too loudly near them. In the Karsari sector, 4 light years from Earth, an entire alien fleet dropped out of hyperspace, trying to regroup. The Grawl survivors were broken and scattered. One cruiser had lost its engines. Another floated with no power. Their leader, High Commander Travak, hadn't spoken in hours. He just sat, staring at the main screen. In front of them, hanging in space without any sound or warning, was one of Earth's Titans. Silent dagger. Had followed them. Across the stars. No engines were visible. No signal came from it. No weapons were raised. It simply watched. And the Grawl fleet froze. We should run again, one captain whispered. Where? Someone replied. They're already where we run. Travak stood slowly. His voice cracked. Send a message to Earth. What should we say? He looked at the ship that hovered like a god before them and whispered, say nothing. Maybe they'll let us live. Elsewhere, on a moon ruled by the Tree Council, a meeting was called. What are these human machines? One ambassador asked. How do they move without light? Without signal? An old advisor answered. They don't travel through space like us. They bend it. Another added, one arrived in our home system last night. We didn't even see it come. It just appeared. And then it left. The council fell silent. And one speaker said, They are watching the whole galaxy. And no one disagreed. Meanwhile, Earth was calm. Cities ran as normal. Schools remained open. Life continued. But the titans above the planet stood still. Oblivion. One, Storm Core, Silent Dagger, and the others hovered silently in orbit or drifted across space like living moons. Commander Hall received hundreds of signals from across the stars. Empires begging for peace, offers of treaties, pleas for mercy. He ignored most of them. He turned to his AI. What's their condition? Panic, confusion. Several worlds are evacuating. Some fleets are hiding behind moons. Others have turned. On each other? And our titans? All on standby? No weapons active. No shields raised? Halle nodded. Let them wonder. On a small trade station near the Galactic Rim, a group of smugglers watched the broadcasts. They haven't fired in days, one said. Doesn't matter, another replied. They exist. That's all they need to do. A third, older smuggler leaned back. You know what the worst part is? He said, it's not that they can destroy us. Then what? It's that they don't want to. The room went quiet, because that was true. Earth's titans weren't attacking. They weren't conquering. They weren't responding. They were waiting. In deep space. A peaceful science vessel belonging to the Valari species sent out a gentle probe to study one of the titans. It approached carefully, only recording data, nothing aggressive. Before the probe got too close, the Titan ship sent a signal. Was not angry. It was not hostile. It simply said, you are seeing. The probe turned back on its own. Its systems were not hacked. It was not damaged. It simply obeyed. Back on Earth. A young girl named Lila watched the night sky with her grandfather. She saw 5 glowing shapes hanging in the dark sky like stars that never moved. Grandpa, she asked, are they here to protect us? He smiled softly. Yes, but why don't they leave now? The danger is over. He looked up at the giant shapes. Because the stars haven't learned yet. She tilted her head. Learned what? That Earth is not helpless. He paused, then added, and we never were. Across the galaxy, thousands of military leaders, scientists, and historians reviewed the data. They tried to find Earth's weakness. None could. They held emergency meetings, sent envoys, built weapons in secret. But inside, they all felt it. The same deep fear. Because when Earth rose, it didn't scream. It stood still. And that was louder than war. In the dark edges of the Andromeda relay zone. A final message was sent from an unknown. Source. Translated, it read, the giants are watching. Say nothing foolish. And with that, the stars went quiet. Asterisk. The galaxy was frozen in silence. No ships moved near Earth now. No armies prepared for war. The stars that once held pride, greed, and arrogance had dimmed with fear. But Earth remained calm. Above the blue planet. 8 titanic warships each. The size of a small moon drifted quietly. Their lights pulsed gently, like heartbeats. They did not fire. They did not speak. They only watched, and the galaxy waited, breathless. What would Earth do next? Would the humans strike? Would the titans move? Would this be the beginning of the end? Inside the command bunker beneath Greenland's ice, Commander Hallau stood alone. Screens blinked around him. Messages flooded in from every direction. Surrender. Offers, gifts, promises of peace. He ignored them all. Are the titans fully online? He asked. The AI responded, yes, Commander. All units reporting 100% readiness. Planet-class defense network operational. Full silence maintained. Good, Halle said. He looked at an old photo on the wall. Earth, seen from the moon. Below it, a handwritten line. We do not reach for power. We reach for peace. He sighed. It's time, he whispered. Send a message. The AI's voice turned softer, broadcasting to all systems, across the stars, from the icy edges of the rim worlds to the fire belts of the Terran cluster. Every screen turned on. Even ships without power flickered back to life. A message began to play. No music, no threats. Just a human voice, calm, strong, and painfully clear. To the galaxy that once watched us in silence. You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak. You believed Earth would never rise again. The voice paused, and then continued. We do not seek your planets. We do not want your thrones. We do not march with hunger for stars. But we will never be helpless. Now the voice changed, becoming sharper. You invaded our skies. You pointed weapons at our home. And so we woke the giants we had hoped to never need. Their purpose is not conquest. Their design is not destruction. They were built for one reason only, to protect the human soul. Screens across the galaxy showed the 8 titans hovering above Earth, glowing softly. Then came the final words. We are still here. We are still watching. And we will speak only once more if we are forced to rise again. The message ended, and once again the stars went silent. But this silence was different. It was not fear, it was respect. In a war chamber. Deep within the Shar Dominion, generals fell quiet after the broadcast. One finally said, Do we challenge them? Another answered, Challenge? No, we change. A third spoke softly. We thought they were gone. But Earth was never gone. They were waiting. In a school on a distant mining colony, children watched the broadcast replay. A small boy raised his hand and asked, Why did the humans build ships that big? His teacher, an old woman with silver skin, smiled. Because sometimes, she said, when you've been broken once, you build something that can never be broken again. And back on Earth, people returned to life. Shops reopened. Music filled the streets. Children played beneath peaceful skies. The titans remained above them, but no longer felt terrifying. They felt comforting. Like guardians. Like giants who would sleep again until they were needed. Commander Hall walked outside for the first time in weeks. The snow around him sparkled. He looked up at the sky, where Oblivion One floated quietly. He whispered to himself, Let them remember this. Then he turned, walked inside, and shut the doors behind him. No celebration. No flag waving. Just peace. And across the galaxy, no one dared test Earth again. Because now they knew. Humans didn't shout. Built. They endured. They survived everything the galaxy threw at them. And when the time came, they woke the titans. Asterisk.